UiPath has got two design experiences. One is the classic and the other is the modern design experience. As an RPA developer, we should know both the experiences, how to use what. In this playlist, we are covering the classic versus the modern design in a step-by-step manner where we are focusing more on the modern design. In the previous videos of the playlist, we have covered already all of these topics. In case you are absolutely new to modern design and you want to get started, you can refer to the playlist and get started. Whenever we talk about the app/web recorder, first of all, it is important to understand why exactly I require the app/web recorder. What exactly is this thing, right? As you have seen, there is a word which is coming with it, which is called a recorder. So in plain English, what exactly is a recorder? Recorder simply means a device where I can take a video with the help of a camcorder, with the help of a camera. So I went to a place, I see something good, I want to revisit the same thing. So what I do, I take my camera and I record the scene. So whatever I have recorded, I can go home and I can rewatch the same thing again and again. The same concepts happen in the automation as well, where you want to do the same thing again and again, but you do not want to write automation. Rather, I want to record the automation and I want to replay the automation again and again. In the classic design, for automating different interfaces, you have different type of recorders. So for example, if you want to have a web recorder, you have a web recorder. If you wanted to have a desktop, you have something called basic recorder, desktop recorder, web recorder, and different recorder. But when it comes to the modern design experiences, in the modern design, you have only a single activity called app/web recorder, and whose job is to record the options. This would be the first difference you would notice whenever you use this recorder. Okay. Now, when we talk about modern design, you might have noticed that the first activity which I choose is use application/browser. In the recorder, you do not have to first use the activity and then do the recording. This app/web recorder is intelligent enough to generate the workflow which is already encapsulated in use application/browser property. During the recording, you would notice that the modern design recorder is showing you all the elements which you can record. Not only this, it is intelligent enough to select the correct activity for you, such as if it is a text box, it will say that, hey Mukesh, you want to click the text. If it's a button, it would say that you should select a click. However, as a developer, during the recording also you can choose multiple options. And once you are done with the setup, you just click on save and the complete automation is available for you as you used to get in the classic design, right? So the underlying concept of the recorder is exactly the same. However, the modern one is very advanced and it gives you a lot of comprehensive features which were missing in the classic design, right? And that is what we are going to explore in this video, right? So this was a quick theory about the app/web recorder. Let's go to UiPath and see that in action. Okay, so I am back into my UiPath studio, where on the top ribbon you would see that we have something which is called app/web recorder, because I am in the modern design experiences. In the classic design, you would see different kind of recorder here, right? So I hope now you guys are able to identify which is classic and which is the modern design. Okay, so let's try to define a use case. So for example, I have this website which is open in front of me. This is uibank.uipath.com and I want to record some steps here. I want to write my email ID, I want to write the loan amount, I want to select this tenure, yearly, age, and then I want to click on the submit application, right? If I am not using the recorder and I am using the modern design, the first thing is I'll just use something which is called use application/browser, right? So this is all the non-recording way, right? So I would say indicate application to automate. Point it to the UI bank, right? And then as a developer, I need to make sure that, okay, this is an email address, so I need to type. So I'll go here into the activity, get something which is called type into UI automation, type into, I'll configure the properties, I'll point it to this guy like this, and then I'll do the next set of automations, right? That was just dragging and dropping activities one by one. I'll say confirm, right? And it will create the flow for me, right? So this is all we have been seeing, and this is the way where we are not using the recorder, we're using the activity one by one, right? So if I have to click something, similarly I'll take a click activity, right? Sorry, my bad. I'll go here, I'll take a click activity, drop down, select, right? All of these were available for me. But now what is the difference which this recorder is giving me, right? So let's see that as well, right? So I hope you understand that this was a way where I could actually go and create the automation like this. And if you see, this is in the modern design, so I am using at the top use application / browser, right? So this, I hope you guys understand. So I'll delete this. Now this take some time, right? I have to drag and drop activity, configure it. However, I want to immediately execute something, I can use something which is called this guy app/web recorder, which is the topic. So I go here and I click on this button which says app/web recorder. If you keep your mouse on there, you would notice that this also has a shortcut. The shortcut to open this is Control Alt and R. If you simply click Control plus Alt plus R, it will open that. Okay, so it's used a new approach for the UI automation, anchor based, multi-technology, everything is available for this wizard, right? Let's explore that. Now before clicking on this button, I want you guys to notice here is that I do not have anything in my main sequence, is absolutely blank. Okay, so I'll go here and I click on this button which says app/web recorder, and you would notice that the complete screen is now in selection mode. Wherever I am moving my mouse, it is showing me that these are the things which you can automate. Okay, and you would notice that there is something which is called app/web recorder which has started. Right now all you have to do is just click on the element and perform the actions. So for example, I want to type something on this screen, so I'll go here and I'll simply click on this one, right? It is identifying the element, it will get all the anchors, everything, and then it says that it understands that yes, Mukesh, this is a text box, what do you want to type? So let's say I want to type an email address, right? Now if you see here, it is showing you multiple options such as empty field. Do you want to empty the field before typing? It is an expression, is it a plain text? You can hide the data, right? You have all these options special available here. Do you want to have a caps lock, page down, insert special key, everything you can put here, which was kind of not available in the classic recorders, right? So I'll go here and I'll say confirm, and it records the action. So for the second amount, if you see here, I can just go here and I can click on this button, right? It is automatically getting all the details including the selector, fuzzy, everything whichever we have discussed. Now what is the loan amount you want to take? So let's say I want to take 50,000 something, right? And I'll say confirm. Now if you see here for the third one, right, if I click on it, it is automatically going to show me that what exactly is the option. However, sometime you might have a requirement that you want to do something else. So if I go here, you see a small plus button here, and you can select a different option. Get text, type into, hover, click, double click, highlight, uncheck, check. So depending on your requirement, you can actually select your own course of actions as well. So for this one, I am interested to type, so I'll just go here and I'll click on this. Okay, and it's saying me what do you want to type, right? So I just say, let's say I am making 60,000 and I'll say confirm. Okay, and here then it says select your age, please enter your age. I'll again click and I'll put my age as 25. Confirm. And all of this is happening in a recording, right? And you can see on the right hand side, it is showing you all the recorded steps. So I'll just go here and I click on this guy which says submit the application. Okay, and it's understand that it is a click, right? Now once you have got this, it says that your loan has been approved. Now I am interested to get this loan ID, right? So if I keep my mouse here, and you see now what action I want to do. I want to get the text. So I'll keep my mouse and I want to get the text. The activity which would be generated is get the text, right? Once you are done everything, you have an option here which is save and return to studio. I click on that and I am back into my studio, right? You see some of the yellow symbols here. Let's see what is that. So it says that, hey Mukesh, there is some error in the children. Let's see that what exactly is that. So if you remember, we told it to get the text, right? We told it to get the loan ID, but here the loan ID we didn't save it in a variable, right? So I'll go here, I'll hit create a new variable. I can say create a variable, new feature of UiPath, and I want to say that this is the loan ID, and I hit enter, and this will automatically create a variable for me here, right? Loan ID string variable is created. Now let's say you want to print it. I can always use a write line activity, log message activity, and in here use the variable. I want to use the loan ID. That's it, right? The same automation is now built with the help of a recorder, right? So let's try to run that. I'll go back to the actual page, minimize this, go here and run the file, right? So what I just did was I created an automation. Instead of dragging and dropping all the activities, I just use something which is called app/web recorder, and I was able to completely write the automation, right? Now the robot has started. As you can see, whatever details I gave it are all done, and in the output I do not see the ID because I think I missed the loan term, right? So I did not get the loan term because it was not there, right? So that is where now I want to show you the next thing, that once you are done with the recording, you can always include the actions also in between them, right? So after you type the loan amount, I think, yeah, I missed the loan term, right? So I'll go here and I can add an action. What do you want to do? If you see here, this is a drop down, right? So I'll go here and I can use something which is called select item, right? What is the item you want to select? Indicate the items on the screen. I'll point it to this guy. Okay, and I'll say confirm. And what do you want to select from the drop down? You just have to specify that value here, right? So let's say I want to select 5, so I'll go here and I'll put 5, right? So the idea here is, once you are done with the recording, you always has an option to modify the workflow, which was also there in the classic design as well. Okay, I'll hit a quick refresh and let's try to run this automation again, run the file. Okay, so now the recorded workflow with the new actions is running. Okay, submit the loan application, and if I go to the output, I can see that the loan ID is printed here, right? So that was a quick demo on how can you use the app/web recorder, which is a very handy feature, right? And as we discussed, if you notice here, all of that is by default encapsulated in a use browser/application, and you have all the options to customize it here like your normal automation. Okay, so that was a quick demo on the app/web recorder, and this is how you access it, right? So so you just go to the top ribbon, you have something which is called app/web recorder. You get this wizard, you record the stops, and you click on this guy which says stop, and then you save and you come back to studio. Okay, now there are some things which we should know whenever we are using this recorder, right? There are some activities, or I would say some actions, which are recorded, automatically recorded, and there are some actions which has to be explicitly performed by us. So for example, clicking on button, links and other clickable elements such as icon or images are automatically generated, and it generates a click activity in the UiPath Studio. Whenever you try to interact with something which is a typing area such as a text box, you would get something which is called type into, which we have seen, right? Whenever we try to select something, a checkbox activity is automatically generated. The interesting part is, while you are recording, you can actually press the keyboard shortcuts such as Ctrl and Alt, and those shortcuts will also be recorded. Selecting an item from the drop down, this we have missed, but if you would have used, it would have given us a select item activity which we explicitly use in our workflow, right? So whenever you are doing the options, these are all the things which you can do, and the automation would be automatically created, including the shortcuts, right? One other interesting thing is that, let's say I am recording this action, right? And as I have shown previously, that you can keep your mouse hover and you can select this option. But if you want that option to be pinned, you can just keep your mouse and you have this option which is called automatically pin. Now what would happen every time you keep your mouse, that option would always be available for you. If you don't want it, just go here and unpin the same. Okay, now while doing the automation, you can always provide the hotkeys like this, right? So I just press Ctrl plus S, right? That was just to show. So you would notice that I'll just hit cancel, right? So I just press Ctrl plus S, so that shortcut was also recorded for you, right? Not only this, while you are done, you can actually change the existing value, right? So here I type 20,000. Let's say I want to type something else. You can change it here as well. Delete, we have already discussed. Keyboard shortcut, you can click here and you can remove the keyboard shortcut as well. Pretty interesting, right? So let's say, and I'll go here and I'll say save. Okay. The other interesting feature of this thing is, let's say I have a notepad application and I have this browser, right? So I am using a app/web recorder, okay, and I point it to, let's say, to the notepad, right? I am doing something on the notepad. Let's say I clicked on this, right? So everything would be done with the help of now notepad, right? And by mistake I went and I click on this one, which is a browser. Now what would happen inside your UiPath Studio, right? You would have to use application/browser. As you can see, one is for the notepad, one is for the edge bank. And if I again come here, I'll say confirm, right? If I click on this format, again it will go and it will create one more, right? So basically by mistake I have clicked on this one and it has gone out of the scope, and it happened pretty well in the classic recorder as well, right? Here it is taking everything in a different window. However, in the modern design recorder, you can prevent all of this by using a single hack, right? Let me tell you. So I'll pause this. I will say I'll close this. I do not want to save it, right? So this is my plain sequence, right? I'll just go and show you what exactly we need to do, right? So I go here and let's say I wanted to create only in the notepad. So this is the notepad, right? So let's say this is done. Okay, so now this is only in the notepad, right? Only two options. When I come to my UiPath Studio, I click on this button and I select recording. Now my automation is only logged to the notepad. See, I cannot go to the browser. I am not able to go to the browser. See, I'm not able to go to the browser. See, my recorder is only logged to the notepad, right? So I hope you got the concept. It's absolutely simple. You just have to drag and drop a use application/browser, point it to the respective application, and then you use the recording, so it would be logged to the single interface. But in case you have a requirement where you want to migrate or navigate the data between one application and another, then you can use the normal app application/browser. But if you use here, click on that and then you do the recording, it would be stick and it would be restricted only to that application window, right? Now let's talk about some of the settings or the options which are available for you whenever you are doing the recording. Okay, so I'll go here and I'll simply delete this. I'll go back and select the app/web recorder. Okay. Now if you notice here, sometime you might be at a different screen, right? And if you want to go back to the previous screen, if I click on that, it will record the action, right? You always has an option here to click on the pause in the app/web recorder. If you see, you have this option which is called pause. I'll click on that and it has paused the steps. Now I can always go back here, apply for loan, and now I am back to the actual screen. Now once to start, whenever you want to start, you can just keep the automation or the application into the expected mode, or I would say expected screen. And whenever you are ready, just click on this button which says start the recording, and you will be again back to the actual flow. Sometime this is helpful. This would be helpful sometime if you want to open additional menu which are not open by default, right? So you can just click on this pause button, it will pause, and then you can hit the recording. Okay. In this app/web recorder window, you have this colorful kind of a box which is called enable the object repository. When we click on this button, we can use the existing object repository elements or we can create the new ones. On this channel, till the point we have not covered the object repository, so that's an upcoming point. But you can think of object repository as a place where you keep all the selectors of the UI elements. Okay. So you can just click on this button and it will automatically create an object repository for you guys. Okay. What else we can do? So for example, we have already seen that when I click on the start recording, it generates this workflow, right? We have already seen that generating of collecting the information, providing the information, expressions and all you have seen, right? So I'll just type something here and I'll say confirm. However, this is all UI element. Let's say I want to do some image automation. You can just take your mouse and draw a rectangle like this on the loan application. And now UiPath is asking me, what do you want to do with this? It identifies that, hey, I have done something with the image. Do you want to do the type, automation, click, hyper, double click, or the highlight, right? So that means that doing the image automation during the recording is also an option which is available for you, right? You can manually add the actions that we have already seen. One other thing is, if you see on the right hand side, you have something which is called recorded steps in the same window. If I open that, you would notice that all the steps whichever I have done are available. If you feel that something which is not good or which is not required, you always has an option to click on this button which says delete, and the respective action would be deleted, right? You can add the actions directly from here. You can delete it before even directly going to the UiPath Studio, right? This option was not in a part of your classic design, where by mistake, let's say you have added something, it would get recorded, right? But here you get an option to delete them as well. Okay. Object repository we have talked, this we have talked the pause, this is the save. Other interesting thing here is this last button which is called the input method. By default it is select to auto, right? But if you click on this drop down, you would notice that you have these options: hardware events, simulate, Chromium APIs, Windows messages, and the auto, right? By default it is set to auto, which means that it will automatically select this. But while recording, if you feel like that, hey, this is not working, you can always go and use the different input methods such as simulate, Chromium, Windows API, hardware events, right? And as soon as you select, you would notice that this symbol is getting automatically changed, right? So I'll keep it to the auto, and that is also an option which is available for you. One good feature of this thing is this option which is called the enable full configuration of the target, which simply means that whenever I am typing something here, it is automatically getting the selectors and everything. However, let's say you want to do it in a full-fledged manner where you want a manual intervention before it record the actions. You can use this option. I'll click on this button, enable the full configuration, and then I'll click on this button which says start recording. And now if I point it to somewhere, and now whenever I put some value, right, you would notice that now it is giving me option to configure. I can put my anchor, I can put the anchors like this, right? You are having the configuration option here. Once you are successfully done, you just click on this button which says confirm. right? And then it is asking you what do you want to do, right? So let's say I want to type some amount here, and then I say confirm. If you do not want that, you just can uncheck this and this will not show you that option, right? That depends again on your implementation. Do you want to explicitly get all the configuration? If yes, just click on this button, right? So these three buttons are pretty useful whenever you are doing the recorded automations. Okay, so that is pretty much I wanted to cover in this video. I hope now you have got the concept of app/web recorder and why it is better than the classic design, right? If you also think that yes, it is better, just let me know in the comments. Okay, so that is all for this video. I would like to wrap this video here. I hope this was insightful. If you have any more questions, any more doubts, feel free to write me in the comments, or you can also drop me an email as well. I would appreciate your feedback on the video and tell me in the comments what would be the next topic or next video you want to see. So with that, I would wrap this video here. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please do subscribe to the channel and happy automation.